Oh, hey, what's up, everyone? You're watching Tennis and a Brew. On this week's episode, we will discuss the Memphis Open as well as the Argentina Open. First off, before we get to the tennis, we have to start with the obligatory beer of choice for today's episode, and that is going to be Trader Joe's Providential Belgian-style Golden Ale. Ale brewed with spices on lees is what it says. Take a look. And if you like Belgian beer, you'll probably like this. Or if you're a fan of Liverpool and you like their goalkeeper, Simon Mignolet. Let's get to the tennis. In the Argentina Open, we had a champion that I didn't really expect to win. I don't think most people had really on their radar. And that is the young Austrian player Dominic Thiem, who clinched his fourth career singles title with a victory over Nicolas Almagro. En route to that, he took out Rafael Nadal. Oh wait, he's a lefty. Nadal is obviously the clay court guru year in and year out. And it was pretty stunning to see Thiem dismantle Nadal the way he did with his blistering forehands. Thiem is kind of a young Stan Wawrinka in the sense that he hits that huge forehand and a huge one-handed backhand, which is something that we don't see a lot of from one-handed backhanders, is that just extreme flat pace. And then on the forehand side, Thiem can get a lot of topspin, which beat Nadal at his own game because Nadal gets so much spin. And then in the final, it was just a matter of who's going to out-hit the other guy. Thiem, won by a very narrow margin against Almagro. Both of the sets he did win were in tie breaks. Thiem did sort of the same thing against Nadal. He took him down in the third set, 7-6, coming alive in those tie-break scenarios. So that's a good sign because, Thiem is he's just cracked the top 20 at number 19, and he's 22 years old, still very young, but he's finally starting to show signs of the ability to stand up to these bigger opponents and really take the initiative when it counts. Winning both of those matches against Nadal and Almagro in tie breaks is indicative of that confidence and poise that I think he has now. Both those matches were great to watch. But even if you are a fan of Nadal, it is sort of scintillating in a weird way to watch him lose on clay. He's usually such a guaranteed winner on that surface. To watch somebody dismantle him on his favorite surface is pretty fascinating. So I'd recommend going back and watching at least the highlights of that match because it was pretty epic. But the Memphis Open is what I really want to get to because we saw the emergence of hopefully the next big name in American tennis, and that is the local San Diego boy, Taylor Fritz, who lost in the final to Kei Nishikori. That's to be expected because Nishikori is very good at that tournament, a great player in general, obviously. But that's his fourth Memphis title. But it is surprising that Fritz made it to the final and won the matches during the week that he did to get there. I mean, he beat Steve Johnson. He dug deep in the semifinal against Berankis to come back and win that. Also, he doesn't go by Taylor Harry Fritz anymore, which I think is great because that sounds kind of lame. Really? You got to start your lawnmower right now? La 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 la. But I am going to buy some stock in Taylor Fritz. I'm really impressed by his all-court game and his poise for being only 18 years old. He plays very mature tennis, and he never gets too mad at himself, at least visually. He sort of learned how to control that. That's the reason he made it to the final in Memphis. So hopefully it's going to be a big year for him. He's already off to a great start. I was reading an article earlier on tennis.com, and they were comparing him to Pete Sampras, which I can see in the sense that he's very quiet and has a great deal of poise in pressure moments. But other than that, any comparison to Sampras I think is very premature. Actually, if you want to talk about it from just a skills point of view, I would say his game is much more all around than Pete Sampras's ever was. Pete obviously a phenomenal player, but his game was predicated around a huge serve and great volleying and a great forehand. Whereas Fritz, he has a great serve, he has a great forehand, a great backhand, a great return game. I noticed that in the Berankis match and in the first 3 games of the match against Nishikori when he went up a break. Tremendous defense. In that respect, he has an edge on Sampras, but it's way too early to even get into comparisons and analysis between the two. I think you can still hear it, but it's at least dying down a bit. Taylor Fritz, phenomenal stuff, and that goes into my bold statement of the week. Am I drunk already? Of the week. My bold statement is he's going to end up in the top 50 by the US Open. And that does it for this week. Once again, thanks for watching Tennis and a Brew. We'll be back again next week. Enjoy yourself. Get some tennis going. It's good weather here in California. Probably not where you are, but that's okay. Enjoy yourself. Peace. Oh.